welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Staff of Life, Carl's Kitchen. I hate to turn my back on you. Those that we're going to wait for a few more to come on. If you can't hear me, let me know. I'm not good at this mic. But today we're just going to do an introduction to the Staff of Life, Carl's Kitchen, Cooking Live with Chef Carlyn. Now, if you're on, let me know you can see me. I should be where you can let me know if you're there. I think there were two there already. Now, a lot of people want to know, who am I? Who is Chef Carlyn? Who is Carlyn Saunders? I know it has Yarbrough on there, but Carlyn Saunders. It's been almost a year since I've been live, even on Facebook or YouTube, but I haven't been on YouTube. I meant to say Instagram, but I haven't been on YouTube. I see there's a few people here. Maybe I need to stand so I can read and see who's there and welcome them. If you cannot hear me, let me know, but I'm pretty sure the mic is on. First of all, my name is Carlyn Saunders. I'm a dietitian, nutritionist, and chef. And so some people say food chemistry. I do have degrees in that, but I like creating food or different types of vegan dishes. I've been doing this for over 48 years. Don't want to tell you. Well, everybody just about know. Some people know I'm 77 years old, and I started when I was 32, and haven't turned back. Haven't looked back, and don't regret one day of not eating properly. Now, what I want to do today, I just had these little notes here so I won't forget anything, but I want to lay the foundation of what you're to expect when you come into the classes. There, I'm going to try to be on every day like I was on Facebook, doing little short clips of different foods. But if you want to know the completion of a recipe that I do, you need to be on YouTube as a member, as a subscriber. You get to see a lot of different things that I'll be doing. What I want to do with you is show you or tell you, I'm going to sit for a minute, because we're going to be here for a moment, why I made this transition to become a vegetarian first and then vegan. A lot of people want to jump to vegan from meat eating, then the next thing you know, they're back on their regular diet. So I did not make a dietary change. I made a lifestyle change. A lot of people don't know this, but I was diagnosed with breast cancer years ago when my oldest son, who's in his 50s now, was born. And so I went the natural way. Thank you, Lord. And the only way I had to do that was make a lifestyle change. Meeting changed my environment, changed my habits, changed my diet. All of that had to change. So it became a part of my life. So it's not something I try today and gonna get off tomorrow. I had to be consistent in what I was eating, how I was living, exercise, drinking water, doing the natural herbs that I was taking. So it wasn't an easy task. It took years, but I'm still here and have all my body functions. Okay, so it's not a diet. A lot of people say they want to go on a diet. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But for me, to stay on this as long as I needed to and have, it became a lifestyle. It's a part of my life. It's just like getting up in the morning breathing, getting up in the morning drinking water, getting up in the morning fixing your breakfast, but being consistent on what you're doing and how you're doing it. What you're going to learn here in the Staff of Life Kitchen is what should be your staples. A lot of people, I have looked at a lot of videos on Facebook and on Instagram and on all these other things, and everybody's cooking. Everybody's preparing dishes. And I am so happy to see that, especially in the vegan realm. But it can't be, it's got to be something that you love and it's a part of your life. And I've seen some wonderful vegan dishes out there. Wonderful. What we're going to do is learn not only how to prepare some of these dishes, but you need to know your menu planning, why you're doing what you're doing. What's your motive? And if your motive is right, then you will stick with it. If your motive is just to do something that somebody else is doing, you're not going to be consistent in it. Seasonings and herbs. I notice a lot of people don't know what to season, what to use, what's best to use. We're going to learn all of that. Not today. Today is introduction time. It's to introduce you to the Staff of Life Kitchen and what you're going to be learning and preparing here in this kitchen, or whatever kitchen you may find me in. But we're going to learn the herbs to cook with, not spices. We call a lot of things spices. Black pepper is a spice, but not cayenne. You're going to learn the difference in the herbs that are healing, yet you can use it in your kitchen. So your kitchen becomes your medicine cabinet, so to speak. And I always when I'm lecturing around the country, I let everybody know, you are what you eat. Yes, true. But it's also, you are what you digest. Because if you don't digest this food that we're going to be preparing, it's not going to do the body any good. So we need to learn the staples in the kitchen, and that includes your seasonings, your herbs, and all the important healing, as well as eating and tasting and preparing your meals. I want you to learn, you're also going to do something that nobody has ever done with me before, and that's to go shopping with me. I'm going to carry my little tablet, and everywhere I go shopping, you'll be with me. We're going to be live in the grocery stores, the markets, wherever we are buying, so you'll understand where Chef Carlyn's getting some of her things from. You're going to also learn how to put your mind, I'm looking at this little note I put here, it's kind of funny. Put your mind before your mouth, or before you put your hands on it. Sometimes we just grab. We don't know why we're eating what we're eating. We just know we want to eat. And don't wait till you're hungry, to go shopping, so to speak. We use the word hungry, but you're going to learn the difference. A lot of people don't know the difference between hunger and appetite. You need to know that if you're going to be preparing meals for your family. I'm pretty sure if you don't have a family and you're going to be watching these cooking classes or these sessions, then you need to love yourself enough to want to learn how to prepare these foods properly. Also, think before you eat. Sometimes we just grab. And we're going to learn how to properly eat if you have a family, and especially children. We're going to talk about some of the books I have. I'm going to try to, some are en route now so I can have them to show to you, but they are on Amazon Books if you want to get some of them. We're going to learn how to make bread. Some of the foods that you're going to be preparing. You're going to make breads. You're going to learn how to make the different varieties of flat bread. You're going to unleavened bread, raised bread. Also, you're going to learn how to prepare vegetables. I know there's a lot. Raw is best, yes, but everybody, we need to be fair and honest. Everybody can't eat raw. If you don't have any teeth, you cannot chew it. So we have to consider those that can. And I like to tell people, I'm a Christian. I believe in the Lord, and I know God met people where they were. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to meet you where you are, not where I am. Because there's a lot of people not where I am, but I know where I came from whence I came. So the pit from which I was dug, that's where we all started from, down here. So we have our first graders, and we even have kindergartens, then first graders, second graders, and then those third graders are those that are advanced in vegan eating. Some of them are eating raw, some of them are all raw, some of them are growing natural. But everybody's on that, not on that level. So in me preparing my vegan dishes, I'm not looking at me or where I am. I'm looking at where you are. What do you need help in to get to round 2, to get to the first grade? I can't jump you from first grade, kindergarten to third grade. That's not fair because I didn't jump like that, and most of us didn't. But we've learned to prepare these wonderful dishes, and we expect everybody to be on our level, and that's not fair. So we're not going to do that, but we are going to learn how to make the vegan meats. Vegan, a lot of people want to know how I made these dishes. Now, some of you, when you look at my dishes and I'm uploading them, I'm trying to get all of them that I have on Facebook, on YouTube, so you can see them. Some of them I made like yesterday morning. There's no recipe. It's not in the book if I made it today, and the book is already at Amazon. So a lot of people say, is it in your book? And I just told you the idea came to me this morning. So what we're going to do is learn how to think, learn how to experiment, learn how to, God has given all of us talents and gifts, and some of them is cooking, and all of us should learn how to cook. Let me backtrack. I know you could say that's awful, but my mother had 9 of us. She was not a chef. She was not a dietitian. And most of our parents wasn't. But she was a cook. I mean, they could cook. And my father was I thought, the best cook in the world. I mean, he could cook, and the people in the neighborhood would love to come and eat his food. And as when I'm lecturing, I'm not down in my father, my sisters and siblings that hear this, but this is a true fact. The best cook may very well be the worst cook when it comes to preparing the food properly, food combining, eating what we should. Eating a lot of acid food doesn't make you a good cook. You need to put some alkalinity in with that, the food. So when we see these dishes that I make, or you see on Instagram or Facebook, just make sure if it's a protein meal or a starch meal, you got some vegetables with it, okay? But anyway, we need to really learn the principles of eating. Since the media has gone crazy with all these dishes and foods, and they are delicious. They look delicious anyway. And so what we need to do is to learn how to put them together. So we're going to learn diet and nutrition while we're preparing that food. What is the nutritional value of what you're cooking? What do you need to add to if I'm going to have squash and turnip greens? And then what else can I add with that? A protein. Those are vegetables. So can I add a protein? Should I add a starch? Some of it is starchy vegetables. You have starchy vegetables as well. So we're going to prepare a meal, yet learn a little bit, not pushing, but when we're cooking, you may want your pencil and pad. You may want to take notes, or you can just always rewind and look at what we're talking about. But this is what the Staff of Life, Carl's Kitchen, is all about. We're going to have fun in here. We're going to get in here as if we're little kids. You know, being 77 doesn't mean I don't want to be 17 and thinking and being creative in how we're preparing. Now, with my mind, I start off with a blank sheet, like an artist. I can get up in the morning and I look at all the ingredients that I have in my cupboard, in my kitchen, and I say, what can I do different today? And I pray and ask the Holy Spirit to give me help me to use a little common sense in what I'm fixing. And so when I look at somebody else's recipe, it does not have to be a vegan recipe. I can look at a regular recipe with with, let's say, chicken. We'll offer chicken, but back on that again. There's a lot of people out there judging. Okay, if you want to get off of chicken, if you hate chicken, I don't hate the chicken. I had to get off of those things because I re-educated myself on what's causing my diseased blood to have cancer. So I have to, you are what you eat. I'm not walking around here looking at those flowers and getting a disease. It's what you put in your body. So what I was eating, my combinations of what I was doing, because I was doing the way I was raised to do. Everybody in my family just about had cancer, not siblings, but I'm just saying back relative, generation to generation, it's cancer, it's arthritis running rampant. So somebody has to break that chain in your family. This is what staff of life, look at that word, staff of life. Then Carlos, that's me, kitchen. So we're in here to bring life, not death. You know, a lot of people wondering why we eat the way we eat, what you're doing. If you don't want to become a vegetarian, if you don't like vegan food, then, you know, it's a free country. You don't have to watch the video. You don't have to do those things. So all the negative comments that we may get, I pray that those that are thinking that way will just leave those to themselves and pray about it. For those that want to learn how to eat better, it don't have to happen in a day or a week or even a month. But if you want to try one vegan dish or one raw dish, we're going to learn some raw dishes. And we're going to talk about how we should be mindful of how we're eating these raw foods as well. You have to have a good digestive system, and you need to make sure you're chewing thoroughly. Also, sorry about that. People are calling in. What we want to do is to make sure that we are doing what we should be doing. Now, I'm just going to call again because this person that's calling me online, and if you can't, text me something if you can't hear or if you can't get in, if you're having trouble or complications. So far, it's letting me know that it's recording live. But if you can't hear or you don't see what you let me know, or text instead of calling, please. Also, it's only been 12 minutes and we have a lot to accomplish today. I wasn't supposed to be doing any cooking, but I may just give you a little treat later on. First of all, in a laying a foundation, you should ask yourself, what must I do? What must I do today? What must I eat today for breakfast? Is it good to have a meal plan? If you need to plan your menu or menu planning for the week, there's nothing wrong with that. Because a lot of us don't know how to meal plan. We just go look in the refrigerator, throw something together in a pot, set the pot on the table, or set the pot on the stove and tell the kids to go eat. But to prepare a meal, you need to have a main course, your entree, a raw salad with every meal. It should be the main courses or your protein meals. Not with your fruit meal, but with the entrees. A good salad is good. A steamed vegetable, and maybe 2 to 3 steamed vegetables and a raw salad, and your protein or your starch, whichever one you're going to have. When I say protein, that's meat. Another thing you're going to learn at this Staff of Life, whether you're a meat eater or not, you're welcome, and it's a blessing to have those that are still on chicken, fish, and things like that, because you need to learn one thing. The older you get, the less protein you need. So when you're cooking chicken, you don't need chicken ribs and steak at the same meal time. So a little helping you out with that will lower your blood pressure, your sugar. We're going to talk about that. And, a lot of us are sick because of what we're eating. Even though you're eating vegan food, if your combinations are wrong, see, this is what we don't understand, then we still can have problems. remember the body needs, let me see if somebody's having, okay, the older you get, the less protein you need. We must remember that. I don't need the same amount of protein in my body that my grandchild that's 7 or 8, or my 13-year-old that's grandson that's playing football or basketball. So the older we get, the less protein we need. So you don't need all that protein, but you do need complete protein. Now this is where vegetarians, before we get into cooking, you need to know why you're going to eat. Let's say we're having tofu, and I might make you some salmon croquettes before I'm finished. But you need to have something with that to balance it out. So what we need to know is if you're going to have protein, and you don't need 2 complete protein foods. The body only needs 1 complete. The body needs essential nutrients. It don't need and the protein, tofu is an incomplete protein. So you need to find something that will complement that tofu. Just like husband and wives should complement one another. But we should. And our food should complement one another. So before we get, I know everybody said, let's get the skillet, let's get the olive oil, let's start chopping the salad, cutting up this, let's fix the meat, bake me some bread. What we want to do is start from scratch. And today, this is what what today is all about. So you'll know what to expect in these classes. We're going to be cooking, believe me. We're going to bake tomorrow. The live cooking, those that are members, the live cooking classes will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So tomorrow is Thursday. I'm going to do a live tomorrow cooking, okay, because it's Thursday. And so it won't be every Thursday, but it'll be twice. The live will be twice a month, like dealing with you, because we're going to be on there for a while. And then every day there will be a video of some sort of a dish or cooking or whatever, but not in detail. So if you there's a difference between subscribers. I need all the help with the subscribers so we can stay on to get to this point. And you'll get to share in with some of these things. But tomorrow we will be doing some sort of bread. And of course, when I make bread, we got to, and I'm going to tell you what type, but it would be some sort of bread. And then we're going to have something to eat with that bread, or what would complement that bread. Okay? Or if the Lord tell me otherwise, it'll be something else. But my mind is on making some type of bread tomorrow. Also, we're going to be really, when we go shopping, I'm going to take you to some places. As I've traveled around the country, everybody can't afford. Now, my niece was just telling me that eggs, if I'm wrong, Yolanda, I think I saw her on there, eggs have gone up to something like $18 a carton or something. All I'm saying is this. You have people that can't afford that. I know everybody's expecting the government to give you a check and buy food. If you got 5 and 6 kids in the family and a husband and wife, that's not a lot of money. And we need to learn how to economize. Use what we got. Use what we got. We learned that from my mother, and father. They used what they had and fed 9 of us, and we never went hungry, never went without. And so that really is, if you got vegetables, and I tell everybody, if you got flour and water or meal, you're fine, and oil. So we're going to show you how to just use what you have. I wish I could verbally see what everybody have in their refrigerator and show you what you can make. Some people say, well, I don't have nothing to eat. If you got flour and water, you have something to eat. Or meal and oil, you got something to eat. And then if you learn the natural herbs out there, some of us, if we're not putting chemicals on our yards, there's a lot of, we call weeds that are herbs that you can eat. So we need to learn all these things, incorporate them in our diet. Remember the staff of life. We're just doing it in Carl's kitchen. So we're going to be making all these dishes that you see me make. Most of them don't have a recipe. In the last 2 months or 3 months, they're not in the book, or 4 months, I look at what I have, read from other recipes, and these are meat recipes. I said, you know what, I can do that. Imitate, that's the way we did with the sausages. Now I'm going to tell you a story about how the sausages came about. We were in Tennessee, just moved to the country. 2 boys was little. I was walking the road, and I met one of the neighbors, and we got to talking about diet and nutrition. And she said, my husband has diabetes, heart trouble, and the doctor says he got and high blood pressure bad, and he has to get off the sausage, but he won't stop eating the pork sausage. Of course, they had hogs. Nothing against the hog eaters. I don't eat y'all. Listen, I'm just telling a testimony, okay? If that's what you want to eat, fine. But just remember, you are what you eat. And this man said, I'm just showing you that there can be an alternative. And then once you've changed and you want to go back that way, fine. But to heal your body, we must put forth an effort to do right, to get rid of what we were eating that's causing the problem, get rid of the cause, from cause to effect. So, she said he just loved the pork sausage. I said, well, may I come in your house? And she said, sure. She took me in her house. I said, cook me, how do you cook your sausage? I think she had that much, like you deep fry in a skillet, oil. And I said, well, what are you getting ready to do? And she was going to make some biscuits. I asked her what she do. I watched her. I said, go ahead, act like I'm not here. She cut the sausage up, fried it in there. Then she took the same oil, poured it in her cookie sheet, which made the oil almost it was almost to the top of the cookie sheet. She made her biscuits and pack, and she put them in there, put them in the oven. And I watched this lady, and now we wonder why her husband have heart trouble, high blood pressure. Now she couldn't read, and so I told her I would do a videotape, just a tape of telling her what to do. But first of all, I showed her you don't need that much oil, and she was using lard. Now I didn't say oil, lard. I didn't say olive oil. I said lard. And so I told her she could change. Now this is a kindergartner. Okay, she never heard of vegetarianism. She never heard of it. So I said, well, this is what you need to do as a kindergartner. I said, you're a Christian? She said, yeah. So I said, because somebody's going to come up with this. In the Bible, you see what Jesus said. He did not say bake the cake, boil the cake. He said fry the cake. Jesus came to meet the people where they were. And so he didn't tell them. He said, take those cakes and fry them. Well, I'm just showing you the principle of frying. All right, I said, can you get some vegetable oil? And just use a little bit to oil the pan. She said, well, I ain't never heard of vegetable oil. We just get lard. I said, well, I'm going shopping tomorrow, and I'll pick up you a small bottle of vegetable oil. And then I told her, you don't need to do all that in the biscuits. You can make bread without eggs, okay? So she made her biscuits with eggs, but we talked about that. Then the sausage. I said, would you mind if I bring your husband's breakfast tomorrow morning? And I'm going to make him some sweet potato biscuits. She said, I've heard of it, I've never eaten them. So I went back. Now, I'm pioneering back then, so all I had was a wood stove. I made some sweet potato biscuits, by God's grace, and that's where the sausage, I got on my knees and I asked the Lord, help me help these people. Show me what to do. Well, it came to mind, so I had some TVP, and at the time, and this was almost 40 years ago, and I made the sausage. I said, well, never did like sausage in my family. I didn't eat it. But I needed to remember what it tastes. I knew the ingredients were sage and thyme, cayenne pepper was in it. All I did, and salt. And I just did that and worked it and worked it and worked it all that day, kneading. Put a pinch of little bit of wheat flour in there and worked it until the gluten was worked up in you could almost see the gluten in the TVP. Well, we made these cakes, cut them out with a glass, fried them, took them to her in some sweet potato biscuits that my dad taught us how to make. Well, he was making them and we had to learn. He always said the boys and the girls need to know how to cook. the boys, because they may get a wife that could not cook. And he always told the girls that was our responsibility. So when we went there to her house, her husband was in the field. So I took those sweet potato biscuits, put the sausage in between. She took them to her husband. He ate, and then I came behind her about a second later. And he said, now you see what I'm saying? My wife just made me the best sausage and biscuits. You don't know what you're missing, ma'am, by being a vegetarian, not eating meat. She finally got enough nerve to tell him that that was not pork sausage, but it was a vegetarian. He said he'd never heard of that. But so he told her if she could cook, learn how to cook this, if I could teach her, then he could make a change. That's all people want. And then I showed her how to bake it in the oven for him. The rest of your children, y'all can have it that way if you like. Do you know, he noticed the difference. There is a difference between bacon and frying. And he said, well, these taste a little different. But then I explained to him that for his health, he needs to make a change, a lifestyle change. So it can't always be frying for him. And when he starts feeling better, if you want to go back to the old ways, that's fine. But you know that man lived for, a long time afterwards. They changed their diet. We would go by there every day. We would give her tapes. So we are to meet the people where they are. I could have told the lady, at that time I was on all raw almost. That's not what she would have accepted, and neither would her husband or their children. So we need to learn, that's one of my testimonies, we need to learn how to meet people where they are. I've been watching some of the things on Facebook, the rudeness, we can be so unfair to people that are vegan or meat eaters. You have to re-educate. All of us have to be re-educated. I had to be re-educated because I was taught that meat was the only source when I was a kid in school for protein. You see what I'm saying? So I had to be re-educated because meat is not, yes, they were saying it has all the 8 essential amino acids. Well, so does tofu. The soybean itself. Tofu is a derivative of. Anything that's a derivative of is not a complete protein. The soybean is a complete protein. Yes, one beef steak is a complete protein, but usable protein is what the body needs. Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, they have 30% usable protein where one lean beef steak only has 2%. So which one the body can benefit from? These are things you need to learn, and don't knock what other people are eating. Just make sure we're setting the right example when we're preparing these meals, when you go home or when your family come over and they say, well, you see, I got to have my meat. Say, that's fine. But do you know what meat is? I was looking at one of the videos. This is why I wanted to do this introduction first. I was looking at one of the videos on Instagram, and they were talking about meat. And somebody said, God said we could eat meat. Well, I did a talk, go to 129, Genesis 129. You need to know what God said meat is. We don't want to blame God, saying God said we can eat all the pork, all the chicken, all the little animals. That's not what he was saying. And that's not what he called anything, if you are a Bible reader. If you're not, I'm not knocking that either, but I'm just giving you some facts. I'm from the old school. I'm going to give you the truth. Now, what you do with this truth, that's up to you. You can receive it or you can reject it. Or you could just study it and pray about it. I'm not saying receive everything I say as like I'm God, but I'm just telling you a quote from Genesis 1:29. I'm using the King James version. It says, he gave us the earth. Read it now. And in the end, he says, it shall, and the leaves of the trees, and it shall be, you don't see nowhere in there it says flesh. Anything that had to do with animal, God called it flesh. Anything that had to do with herbs and seeds and nuts and grains, it was food. And God said, it shall be food. So just if you're going to quote or somebody quoted it, said God said we can eat the meat for food, and they quoted Genesis 1:29, and nowhere on there it said animal flesh at all. So we want to be mindful of what we're going to say God said and what He didn't say. So right now, I'm going to give you a little treat. I wasn't going to do this, but my talking is. Now, if you have any questions, post it on there, and I'll answer. I'll have to walk up to the screen because this little screen is small. I wish I had I don't have a moderator to sit up there and tell me all these things or answer your question, but I can go up to the screen and try to answer if you have a question. Now, what I have, I just want to show you this, how I just had a block of tofu. Now, if you don't like tofu, that's fine. I have no problem with you not liking tofu. I have no problem at all. Now, the sun is shining in here. If I look kind of light, that's because the door is open. Look like there's a cloud. But I wanted you to show you how it doesn't take long to fix something. Steamed broccoli. We're going to learn about our vegetables. They should be kind of crunchy. Green beans, kind of crunchy. What I'm going to make for you today could be into a patty or a croquette, put on a bun or not. It's mainly eaten as an entree, with an entree. Broccoli or asparagus or whatever vegetable you want to add with this. And I'm just letting you know I'm going to use some, you can get this at any grocery store. I want you to see it. I drain the water, organic, extra firm. If you want to use soft, you can. If you, I don't know, I'm going to move my monitor just a hair. Okay, and we'll move my stool out of the way for a minute. I just want to show you how quick and easy. I'm not even going to do the whole block because it's just me. So I'm going to use a half a block of extra firm tofu. Okay, and then we're going to mash it up with a fork. If you can't see this, let me know. We're going to mash it up with a fork. Now, you know I'm famous for using my hands, but that's what I'm going to do in a minute, just to make sure they're impeccably clean. Okay, now you're going to mash them up. This is how I do my scrambled tofu eggs. We're going to make a breakfast one day. We're going to make a lunch. We're going to make dinner. We're going to do, you're going to know everything you need to know to start your painting or your cooking. Remember, we start with a clean slate. Recipes is an outline. If you're following somebody's recipe, use it as an outline because your taste buds may be different from theirs. If they say, I've had some that say 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. Well, that was too much for me, so matter of fact, it was just too salty. So I just went with just a teaspoon, and some of them a half a teaspoon. Everybody's taste buds is different, and I learned over the years in a cooking class when all of us are hands-on and they're doing the same thing I'm doing, everybody's taste different. Now, you've heard of, if you haven't, we're going to go through all these when we get to seasonings and herbs. We're going to talk about nutritional yeast flakes. And I'm going to tell you something. Everybody have their pros and cons about tofu. They have it about nutritional yeast. They even have it about an onion. I mean, you know, and oats. Everything is bad for you. And nothing is good. So you'll go kind of crazy and confused trying to follow everybody's opinion on something. Now I'm going to step aside real quick and get an onion because I wasn't supposed to be cooking. So if you bear with me for a minute. And I'm going to do this for you real quick. It doesn't take but a minute, but I'm talking. It may take a little longer, but just a matter of, we're going to make a salmon croquette. How can this be a salmon? How will it taste like a salmon? What do you have to do to make it taste like a salmon? Well, let's try an onion. And that's your key right there. An onion. And since I'm making a little bit, we don't need the whole onion. We'll take the smallest one. Peel it. Okay. Cut it up. How much, it all depends on how much you want on there. In there, I should say. So I'm just going to do a little. It's a shame. Next time I rehab the class, I would like to find somebody that live close by me to be in the kitchen with me. And that way they can taste it and tell you. Now we're going to just put a little oats. Now notice, did y'all hear me measure anything? Kensha, you're going to do this nutritional yeast until it turns kind of yellow. So you're going to mash it in. Now this is where your hand's going to come in a little. Over the years, you get to know how to season your food. And this is what we're going to learn, how to measure. You don't need a measuring spoon for everything. I'm just showing, but we're going to go back and measure whatever I'm ducking so you can see what it is. But you're going to go by taste. Now, here comes the hands. In. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm using my knuckles. These are the first mixing spoons that God gave us. Yeah? Your hands. Somebody was talking about this young little boy that was eating with his hands. In some countries, that's what they do. Let's not criticize everything. All right, now, you see how that is? All right, the sun is shining, the screen is open for air, but we're going to use it now. I have my little, get my impeccable hands clean. Now, let's get a little pinch of flour. I have a little cupboard here with my little flour in there. And like I said, wasn't supposed to be doing this. But somebody said this morning, no cookie. No, this is just, now look, see this flour? Just a little, because you only have a little bit in here. Now, let's work the flour. Look at me. Now, it looks a little yellow, right? That's a good thing. We put cayenne, we put salt. Now, what I'm going to do is one more. I love nutritional yeast. It's this, so we'll put that in there. Now, we're going to make the little balls. Look how quick you can do. But now with broccoli or asparagus, I wouldn't put that on until I put these in the oven. You can do these in the oven, air fryer, and we're having little croquettes. So right now, y'all are fixing my breakfast because I haven't had breakfast. All right, now look at that. So we have 5 croquettes on a half a block of tofu. Okay, from a half a block of tofu. All right. Let's wash our hands on paper towels. We want to mess up all the towels. Now, 5 croquettes. I have a skillet on the stove here. I'm going to turn y'all around for a second. As soon as and kitchen utensils. We're going to learn, this is my oil, and these are my olive oil. Both of those are olive oil. My niece has hers also, and I like to have one more. She has a white one, but this is what I put my oil in. So I'm going to oil the skillet, and I'm going to turn y'all around in a minute and let you see you don't need to have a whole lot. And we're going to cut that on. And anybody have a question while we're here? Any questions? No questions, we'll go on. Okay. Now, we're going to just sprinkle a little flour. You don't need a lot. Now, my son, Seneca Butcher, you can just roll it around in this. It's not going to fall apart. He loves these. And when they got married, him and his wife got married, This was one of their dishes that they requested at the wedding. All right, we're gonna put you around, turn the cameras around, and let you look at that. We're through over here for a minute. Now, like I said, this is a treat today because you wasn't supposed to see. These are called salmon croquettes, and the reason why I'm showing don't mind it because this video has been on Facebook for so long, and it's also in my cookbook by measurements, which took forever because I couldn't measure. But I figured I'll just give you a sample of what you will be doing. And now let's see. All right, let's get you to the stove. I want to see, can you see the stove? It's nothing fancy, but you won't see, can you see me? Yeah, you'll get to see me too. All right. There we go. Now, if you put your hand over it, you should be able to feel the heat. Then you'll know whether your pan is ready or not. Some people like to cook on high heat. No. Medium to low, or medium. But you be the judge. You don't want to burn your food up. All right, now what we have gone over while the pan is getting hot on this introduction to the staff of life. How you learned how long I've been, and yes, it was a long road. It wasn't an easy road, but when you find out you're pressing a dying pillar, you'll make a change. You may not like it or enjoy it, but if you want to live, you'll make a change, a lifestyle change. You need to lay a foundation on why you're doing what you're doing. Give a reason for the hope that's within you, not because somebody else is doing it. You heard. I think we're kind of crooked here. Or I heard about this or I heard about that. But what you need to do is be able to give a reason why you want to change. What's your purpose? What's your goal in trying to change? Okay, somebody said that is why I'm here. Amen. Amen. We're here because we need to make a lifestyle change. And I'm telling you, when you're feeling bloated, and when you're having a headache and in pain, it's no way you're going to want to do. Now, let's take these little croquettes and put them in the oil. Now, see, this is a little old stove, so it's kind of lopsided, but that's all right. Stand here and manage it. All right. Now, I hope you can see that. And it is sizzling. Okay. Now, while these are cooking, we're going to talk some more. Any questions, put them up there. I know, don't ask questions after I'm finished and you're posting it. Ask a question now so you can get the proper answer. Not the answer from everybody saying what they think and thought I said. That way you can get it right from the horse's mouth. Remember, we're going to be shopping. Learning about the seasonings that I've used. And I'm going to tell you something. I am very creative. I'm going to show you once these are cooked. Over here where I have all my seasonings in bottles. A lot of times, I don't know, I just assume this must taste good, so I'll try a little bit of that. And sometimes the seasonings, if there's a dish that's really a meat, but the seasoning is natural, is good and healthy, I'll go ahead and use that seasoning, just touch it up a little bit. So there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to learn that this sheet is blank, and it's up to you what to put on it. That plate is blank. So what is up to you what you're going to put in it? Is it going to be food for health or food for death? You know the word death is 3/5 eat, right? You do know that, right? So we need to be careful. There's a reason for everything. Staples in your kitchen. I wish I could turn this all the way around and have a cupboard so high And it has bulk, my herbs and contains all my seasonings. Everything you can think of, whether you're going to use it or not. Get all the herbal seasonings, and that way when you do run across a dish, you would have it. You don't have to run to the store. All right, we're turning these over. Now, at some point, there's maybe people that live in my neighborhood that's here. I'm in Florence, Alabama. And if you live in Florence, Alabama, or even the next county over, and we have a class, come on in. You can get this. I won't have to throw these away. No, I'm not going to throw them away, but now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with these. It's going to be my breakfast. So I have some asparagus. I can have steamed asparagus. And maybe some sliced tomatoes. Raw tomatoes. Or I can have steamed mashed potatoes and broccoli or an asparagus. And this is, I got to find, we were talking about protein, complete and incomplete. Now, if tofu is the soybean is the bean itself is a complete protein. Not every bean is a complete protein. Not every legume is a complete protein. It's a source of protein. So this is why we always say poor countries or different countries, Mexico or different places like that, they have beans, a lot of beans and rice. That's a balance. The rice has something, amino acids that the bean needs. So the bean is incomplete. The body needs complete. So when you eat certain foods, the body don't say, oh, they eat beans and rice or beans and grains. They make a complete protein. So the bean needs help, not beans and potatoes. Be quiet. Somebody tell me why. Text it real quick. Y'all got to be thinking there. You're in a class, so to speak. Beans, potato has mostly starch, and the bean is a protein. So rice and potato is not the same as far as their makeup. So the body needs complete protein, and when you eat the tacos and beans or tortilla beans or beans and rice, now y'all get a pot holder. It's kind of warm. I'm old. My hands are pretty sturdy there. I'm moving aside for a moment. Now remember, I'm stepping away simply because it wasn't planned. But when it's planned tomorrow, I'll have everything out there and I won't have to move away. All right. Here we are. This is off. And now, look at this. We have, let's see, can you see the mess we made over here? Can y'all see the real mess? I want y'all to see something, that's what I'm doing. This is our salmon croquettes. And they actually, if you ever know what salmon smell like, if you ever had it or taste like, let's go a little bit this way. I'm sorry, y'all. But I'm doing something that I wasn't supposed to do. And somebody, I can smell it through. I can too. Listen, this is so easy to make. Now, if you're going to do this, get your ingredients first. And I'm going to tell you something, members. I don't mind if you want to try a dish that we did and we videoed it and you still need a little help there. There's nothing wrong with you texting me and letting me know so I can go live with you privately and we can just help you with what you're having trouble with. Okay? That's what it's all about if you're a member. But you need to be a member and a subscriber. All right, look at this. Let's move this out of the way. I don't go to the store for no bread. I made my bread day before yesterday, down to the couple of slices. But I want to clear this up because I want y'all to see something. Okay? Can you see these bottles over here? All of those are my little oils and different things. You have to shop around for the good stuff. And some of these I've had for a long time. Some of them are vegan things, different oils. And I play with them. Meaning, I mix the oils together or the seasonings and see what flavor I can come up with to match the flavor of maybe what I'm making. Some of my neighbors are not, well, none of them are not vegan. And they'll say, what can you, they try to challenge me. That's how I came up with the duck, the chicken. Now, next Tuesday, I'm going to let you know, so you can be prepared for the members. If you're not a member, you need to sign up. And it tells you how to do that. You have to pay for that class. It is, we're going to be making some, you're going to see how to make one of the meats, just one of the chicken. Once you learn that, that's why I say, for a family of 5, a bag of flour don't cost but how much? 5 pounds of flour. Think about it. Or if you get the vital wheat, you only need 2 cups. Even if you pay $35 for a bag, I'm just saying a 5-pound bag or 4, you only gonna use 2 cups. Out of the 2 cups, you got enough meat to last for vegan meat to last for like a week. Or if you got 5, but if meat, it'll last for a long time. You can freeze it. So we're gonna just make a little portion. So I know I need some too, so we're gonna be making enough. And we're gonna every time we get on there, we're gonna try to make what we can use in the household. If you have some requests, text it throughout the week, and I'll try to, we can see can we accommodate. I like to go with what you need first, not what I would like for you to have. But some people, if I know how many is in your family, we'll know how many kids you have to feed, we'll know what to do and what not to do. We're going to have these salmon crust. Now, if you want a sandwich out of these, instead of making the balls, we could have taken 2 of these and flattened them, the balls, and made a patty, and you would have had the salmon patties. We're going to learn how to make, how to use jackfruit. We're going to learn how to use, what to do with, I made a little mess on top of it, but you're going to learn how to use hearts of palm. You can get the hearts of palm from the grocery store or Amazon. You can get them from the health food store. Banana blossoms, we're going to make some fish. You need to learn how to use these things as well. It's not all sauteed meat. We're going to learn how to use Jerusalem artichokes to make little nuggets. You're going to know how to freeze and refreeze your tofu. And the meat texture is totally different from what we have here. So you're just going to learn how to be creative. So every time we come on, we're going to have a slate. Just remember, my slate is clean. Pineapples are good for digestion, so I like to get a whole pineapple, slice it, freeze it. And then those slices I like to brown them a little bit and eat those with whatever you have, a fruit meal or different meats. Your subacid or your acid fruits are like good with protein, good with nuts, things like that. So a pineapple in the evening or in the morning is good with a meal that you're having, a protein meal or a fruit meal, so to speak. So this is what we're going to learn out here. I have some mangoes. You need to learn how to use those and the benefits, health benefits of all the food that you eat. You should know why you're eating what you're eating. What benefits your food have? She says, do you what I can make with jack? Yes, we're going to show you what you can make with the jackfruit. Where are my jackfruit? This is a blossom. This is artichoke. I thought I had jackfruit. Yes. You want the green young jack, you can get them in a can. If you get them raw or fresh and it's real sweet, then that needs to go with your fruit meal. If you get them green and you're going to cook it, then you can make the different meats. I like to make salmon patties. You know, like, now we wasn't always meat eaters, so my father had made salmon from the can. And the jackfruit is kind of pinkish, so you can mash those up and make salmon, or you can make mock, what we call mock, meaning not real. You can make it taste like crab patties or whatever. The goal is this. There's some people that love, for example, the fish. But you got to show them an alternative from that, because some of the fish in the water is diseased, and some people just can't have that. But you can simulate that so they can eat that, and gradually, now I'm going to tell you something. What I was eating and came about to learn when I was 40 and 50, I said, I'm not still eating that today. I mean, I fix it for people that are making the transition. But I taste it, I show you how to make it. That's what it's all about. It's not all about me. I'm trying to get you to a point where you can get to the third grade. Right now we're kindergartners. Some of you on there may be third graders in cooking wise, but do we know the nutritional aspect of what we're eating? You're doing a beautiful job. I'm saying those on Facebook and YouTube. I tell you, I'm amazed at some of the dishes they come up with. But it's not that complicated. We don't have to add the chemicals, whether they're natural or not, to make what we're making. It's not rocket science. And so we don't have to get into all those things. We don't have to make cooking complicated. You should be able to feed a family of 5 in less than 20 minutes. Everybody ought to be eating. I know that sounds crazy, but food prep is fine. It's what you need to learn to do. And then they shouldn't be waiting all day to eat dinner. It's not fair to your husband, your wife, if you're doing the cooking, or your children who has to go to bed. They're eating at 8:30 and they got to go to bed at 9. So we need to make sure we don't make it complicated. And I've been watching some of the dishes on there, and it's saying that you got to do so many things with, no, you don't. Just, how long did it take us to make salmon croquettes? It only takes 2 to 3 minutes to steam your vegetables. So, we're going to, if there are no questions, I don't see any more questions. Come on, this is the time to pick Chef Carlyn's brain. Today is not all about cooking only. What are you supposed to cook, really? So let's make the time, use our time wisely. I will let you know, I'm going to get my tablet. If you've seen, I'm going to go back to sitting here because we're supposed to be talking a little bit more than we are cooking. But ask your questions while you have me. My time is your time today. Not all day, but your time. All right. No question. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. Let me read the questions. What are some of the things? Oh, ask that question again. Those questions went by so fast. What can eat soy because I can't eat soy because of thyroid problem. So it makes it worse. So you can eat the jackfruit, right? All right. You can't have soy. You got jackfruit. Salmon croquettes, salmon patties. You can do the same thing with jackfruit. Did that answer your question? Same thing. Salmon, tofu, salmon. It's more than one way to fix salmon, vegan salmons. So, and somebody else had a question. What was that? I missed it. It went by so fast. I'm trying to see, can we pull up the questions? Yes, thank you so much. Okay, darling. All right. Now, oh, wait a minute, somebody has something. what are some of the things I need to get rid of in my cabinet? Well, you got what spices did you put in the tofu? Oh, see, I'm gonna show you how simple. I don't use any spices. I use seasonings, sea salt and cayenne. Cayenne is an herb. It's not a spice. Spice is black pepper. All those things that are irritants to the stomach and the stomach lining. But cayenne and salt. And that's the only seasoning like that we use. Then we had nutritional yeast flakes. Now we were watching and I named what we had. We had nutritional yeast flakes, onions, and a little flour. That's it. Little oats. But seasoning wise, when you say seasoning, I'm thinking salt, pepper, different things like that. Onion powder. You had onions in there. You don't need onion powder. This was a very simple meal. Seasoning, salt, and cayenne pepper. Ingredients, a pinch of oats, a pinch of flour, and maybe 3 pinches of nutritional yeast flakes. Until you get it yellow like this. You want it to be yellow. And that's what you do with that. Any more questions? Good question. That was a very good question. I will not use any spice, but I will use plenty of herbs. Your food should be your medicine. So if somebody's having a heart attack, you can use this, the cayenne. You got a sore throat, you can gargle with the salt. Remember, our food. Now, if you go online, or if you got some of the things, you'll see where you can go to it has on here fun cooking, beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So there's nothing wrong with being advanced. We're never too old to learn. You can fix it better, and that's a blessing. I'm just sharing what I know, and then that's what everyone else should do. If God called you to share, then share. But if you're on messengers, I don't know some of my friends on messengers, if I can't see you, that's why I pulled up the computer. If you message, I can still see it if I'm missing your questions. Okay. Any more questions? Okay, we've been going an hour, but we can go longer. Now, tomorrow your classes are going to be, it's going to be longer because we're going to be cooking from scratch. It's going to be live, but it won't stay on live. Once it's done, it won't stay on. It'll be taken off for the members to be able to look at it and take their time on some of them. I don't know how the moderator is doing it, but is nutritional yeast stable for, what did she say? Okay, give me that one again. The one that asked about the nutritional yeast flakes. Who asked about nutritional yeast flakes? Is nutritional yeast stay stable for most of your dishes? No. No, it's not. I use nutritional yeast flakes. I love it. I keep a big bulk of it simply because I'm ashamed. I love it on popcorn. So, yes, it's staple in my popcorn. I like to sprinkle it on popcorn. Can I eat eggs? What did she say? It's good for making vegan eggs. Yes, it's good for that. Sprinkled on popcorn and the salmon croquettes. I don't use it a lot. Do you use the nutritional yeast for a lot of your dishes? No. What brought out the seafood flavor in the chicken? You mean in the chicken? Seafood flavor in the chicken. What chicken are you talking about? Because today we're doing salmon croquettes. Onions will bring you mean in the chicken that I posted? I used the nori seaweed and blend that up. Incorporate that in there. My son loves nutritional yeast on his pasta. Listen, that's all my son ate. What would basics should I have in the kitchen? Those are some of the things. Now, if you missed the beginning of this, let's go over it one more time. Throughout all of these classes, every time you see me live, we're going to be talking until we finish on staples in the kitchen. Every time I'm live, I'm going to be giving you some of the staples. Today was telling you what we're going to be talking about throughout the year. Will be staples in the kitchen, seasonings and your herbs, your shopping and your shopping list. We're going to go over shopping with us. We're going to talk about what we should do before and how we should plan before we start fixing food. So every time we're cooking, I'm going to be talking about some of these things. Basically, everything in the kitchen. So when we're finished, you're going to know all the staple, not only food, but your utensils, what you should have, things, what basic things you need, your little knives, your big knives. We need to know what we need. Underneath this table here, you have bowls and colanders. I mean, have these things where in your fit so you can be able to prepare the food properly. At least 3 cast iron skillets, medium, small, and large. You need these cast iron skillets and Dutch oven. Mine's broke, so I'm looking for a Dutch oven so I can do my bread. When we have the bread classes, they come in handy. Always have your mixer. If you can't afford a stand mixer at KitchenAid, then for almost 40 years, 50 years, I just use God's hands. Need. All right, what was a question there and I didn't see it? Ask that question again. It went faded out. But we're going to cover all these things. Yes, God, whoever said that, we're going to talk about all the things that we need in the kitchen. We'll never cover it today, but every day we'll talk about the basics that you need in the kitchen, the seasonings that you need in the kitchen, the herbs. Like I'm going to give you a list. You can't see it, but there I have the pink coarse oil, the Himalayan salt, the seaweed sheets. I have thyme, parsley, sage, and these are, I'm going to give you an example. See, these are in this cupboard, 3 shelves of different seasonings that you need, and some of them that I never heard of, but I tried a dish, curry leaves. We're going to be doing a whole lot of wok cooking and different Chinese cooking and garlic, and this is how much I have, coriander seeds. I keep these in my cupboard. Only thing I run out of quick is my sea salt and cayenne. But you got to get all these basic things in your kitchen. Instead of buying these little goodies that we get, little desserts and snacks that we need to learn how to make them. If you text me or let me know also, what do your children like to eat? What desserts? What would you like to learn how to make for them healthy? This is what the Carl's Kitchen is all about. I'm not trying to compete with the people on Instagram and all these other things. I'm trying to help. I'm here for you. What do you need help in? And I'm going to show you some of how you can make it in this world with this low income we have and prices going sky high. So like a bag of flour will give you enough vegan meat, incomplete of course, for protein for weeks. And you tell me how much 5 pounds of flour costs, as opposed to a 1 day of chicken. That bag is less than that pack of chicken that you had to buy to fry, and that's gone in 1 meal setting. And then the vital wheat. Yes, you may have to pay a little money. Let's see. This is, I go to nuts.com and get the gluten flour, which is the vital wheat. And this bag will last 2 cups out of here. That's all you need to make, goodness, 2 to 3 cups. You got enough vegan meat to last a while. At least 3. Some to freeze for at least a week, because you're not going to eat it every day, right? Everybody don't have chicken every day, or everybody don't have. And out of that, you can make your beef. We're going to learn how to make beef. We're going to learn how to make the chicken. We're going to learn how to make the fish from different, not gluten, but some of the things, the vegetables. These are made from plant-based. Some of the meats are going to be made from the cannellini beans. And then we're going to learn how to make just a blank canvas of soups. I mean, you don't need a lot to survive. You just need an imagination. Let the Holy Spirit lead you. And you can do this thing. You can get through all this food shortage and money shortage. All we have to do is be willing and obedient. And I'm going to tell you something. We can eat the good of the land if we desire to do so. So we're going to be, any more questions, and then we're going to close out. Because I think we've just about covered what. Now tomorrow, we're going to start making the bread. But we're going to talk about bread, different flours, grains. We're going to talk about what you need for the bread and things you need to keep in the house and all these things. And then we'll go from the next thing to the next. And if I don't do the bread, it's a choice between bread and chicken. One of the vegan meats. So we'll just see how things go with that. While the bread is baking, I'm going to show you something. While bread is rising and baking, you could be making, we may have time to make some meat. Don't forget to hit don't forget to hit the like button. And I need everybody to subscribe because I need 1,000 subscribers if I'm going to stay on, okay? 1,000 subscribers. So hit the subscribe button. I talk so fast. Okay? And don't forget the like button. And if you don't like me anyway. Any more? Okay. What am I missing, darling? She reminded me of that because I showed her that I hit the like button and I do need 1,000. She said, you got it, beautiful. Okay. All right. It's that always. Thank you. Okay, I got somebody helping me out here. So now, remember, 10 o'clock tomorrow. If you're not a subscribe, everybody. But if you want to be a member, I need 1,000 subscribers. Let's see if we get the 1,000 today. I know y'all got friends, and friends got friends, and friends got friends. Let's see if we reach that 1,000 subscribers in one day. I know we can do it. Now, I love, I ain't going to do this until the 3rd or 4th video, but I am going to give away something. Can't do that all the time, but she says, do you make vegan bacon? Yes. And I'm going to show you how to make it. Yes, that's coming up. When I say vegan meats, I'm talking about all that you need. And, you can make it out of, I don't know if I can find it in here. Rice paper. We're going to show you how to make it out of spring roll wrappers. You know, the clear. And we're going to show you, and this is the nori. But we're going to show you all these things. You know you can make it out of banana peelings. Did you know that? Make it out of banana peelings. But you know what? Basically, the easiest is the spring to me. Some people like using different things. But I was never a big bacon eater, so that's terrible. But if I try to make what the people like, that's healthy. You just bake that in the oven, and you use the liquid smoke, the vegan liquid smoke. So it's very simple to make. And remember now, some of these things, if you're a meat eater, if you're still eating meat, don't expect for this to taste exactly like your chicken. Now, if you haven't had it in a long time, some people say it's pretty good. They can't tell the difference, but you know you can. They just being nice. But this is to help you make the transition. And after a while, you should move on to higher things. You didn't stay in the kindergarten and color. If you're still in the kindergarten coloring at 35, something's wrong. So as the time go on, you should have graduated a little bit. In other words, you may want the bacon, the vegan bacon, but it's not a priority now. It's something you can eat once in a blue moon. That's where you want to get to. And then eventually, you don't even know, I don't know when the last time I cooked the vegan sausage for me. Seneca comes over sometimes. He goes, Mother, you don't do that anymore. Son, you almost 50. So I don't, nobody's here. I did those things for you. I always thought that you could make something with banana. Oh yes, you'd be surprised what you make. And you can, it makes good, it makes, when you boil it, the water cool off. It's excellent for your plants, the nutrients that it gives. But yes, you can make bacon out of the banana peelings. Yes, you can. We can do a lot with the banana peelings, cooked and uncooked. All right, if there are no more questions, am I forgetting anything? If I've covered everything, now be on the lookout for we're going to be doing this. I'm going to be live on YouTube every day. I may be cooking, and you may come in if you're just a subscriber. You may see me in the middle of cooking and near the end of cooking. But if you want to see how that dish is made, let's become a member as well as a subscriber. Okay? Am I saying that right, darling? Because the members get to see it all. But every day I'm going to put something up there because I need to get your interest into this. I want you to know what I'm doing, even when I'm walking around, shopping, little details or helpful hints. Yes, ma'am, I missed the way. Yes, ma'am, I mixed the way you text. But anyway, all right. If there's nothing else, we're going to close down and tell everybody so I can, you will not be able to text Miss Cole. Oh. You have to become a member if you want to text me. Okay, she was saying. All right. Now, the salmons and me. Salmons and me. It's going to be my breakfast. So I'm going to tell you in closing, bon appetit. Okay, I am a member. Oh, well, good, wonderful. Whoever you are, if you're a member, that's excellent. Now, we got to figure out how to close. All right. Now, she was teaching me all this stuff. Let's share. All right. We're going to close it up. Bon appetit, and y'all have a blessed day.